Can Kyurem-Black do anything besides run a loaded dice with Scale Shot and Icicle Spear? It's a genuine question here because the more I look into Kyurem-Black, the more and more I don't really see a lot working in its favor, which is actually kind of criminal because Kyurem-Black has amazing stats. Like when you look at it, it's got a base 170 attack, and without any investment and just running an adamant nature, that thing already hits 209 attack, which is just amazing to begin with. Because once you start investing into your attack, you can do a lot of damage. And don't get me wrong, loaded dice combined with icicle spear, I forget the letter P exists, but icicle spear and scale shot, when combined with a loaded dice, can do a lot of damage because these are multi-striking moves that have a base 25 power, respectively. And when they hit a minimum of 4 times, well, that's essentially a base 100 move, and each individual hit is benefiting from same type attack bonus. So Kyurem-Black can definitely do a lot of damage with them, but the problem is Kyurem-Black is a physical attacker, which means Intimidate is definitely not its friend. It doesn't love getting burned. It also doesn't like having its attack dropped by the likes of, say, Parting Shot off of Incineroar or Grimmsnarl. And honestly, screen support definitely doesn't help Kyurem-Black when Kyurem-Black, or rather, screen support for your opponent is definitely not helping Kyurem-Black out either. Now, one thing that Kyurem-Black can do with Scale Shot is it can raise its speed by lowering its own defense, but Scale Shot can miss. And it seems like a little bit of high risk, high reward as far as lowering your defense stat with a Scale Shot in order to raise your speed. Like, it just feels a little bit weary. So the question then is, well, what else can Kyurem-Black do? And that's kind of what I wanted to look into. A Clear Amulet would be amazing since that protects you from Intimidate, so you don't have to worry about your attack being lowered. But then you lose the ability to have these strong hitting, multi-hitting attacks, which are great for breaking Focus Ashes, by the way. And the other problem too is it doesn't really seem like Kyurem has very good options as far as its ice-type stab moves go, because a lot of its attacks tend to be on the special side. Like, this thing doesn't even learn Ice Punch, which is really bad. Like, I mean, Ice Punch isn't the strongest move out there, but it's better than Ice Fang. Like, look at those arms on Kyurem-Black. Like, I know base Kyurem doesn't have the beefiest arms, but Kyurem-Black, it's got monster arms. Like, you would think it could at least get Ice Punch at this point. Like, your best physical options are either Avalanche, which requires Kyurem-Black to move after because of the negative priority, and while Avalanche doubles in power if Kyurem-Black's damaged, Kyurem-Black is, well, let's just put it this way. It needs screen support to be able to live an attack with its natural weaknesses from the ice typing, because it's going to be weak to fighting and rock, which are prevalent typings to be seen on coverage options for Pokemon. And the other thing too is, like, sure, it has a signature move in Freeze Shock, but it's a two-turn move, which would require the Power Herb to let it fire immediately once, but then it doesn't really have anything else going for it. Like, it's a 30% chance to paralyze the target, which, I mean, sure, that's a nice little effect coming off of an ice-type attack, but it's not like Meteor Beam, where Meteor Beam increases your special attack, or Electro Shot. So both of those moves would at least power you up, and then you would fire on the second turn if you didn't have a Power Herb or Rain in the case of Electro Shot. So it's kind of sad to see that Kyurem's ice-type attacks don't really benefit it in this form. Now, Kyurem White, on the other hand, does not have this problem at all. Kyurem White has a monstrous special attack and really good special attack ice-type options, but unfortunately, Kyurem-Black just kind of got ripped off a little bit. Like, it just doesn't have really that much good physical options going. Now, if you do look at its special attack, it does have a base 120, so maybe what you could make the case for is maybe running a mixed set. Like, instead of maybe running a Adamant or a Jolly Nature, maybe you run either a Naughty or Naive Nature, lower that special defense a little bit, and then maybe you have a little bit of an option there between mixed attack options. Like, Maybe you have, say, Blizzard here for some ice type coverage, and maybe now you have Fusion Bolt, which Kyurem-Black does get from being fused to Zekrom, and maybe, say, Dragon Claw just for a little bit of damage and protect. And now at least you can benefit from having one stab option in your Blizzard. And if you have a Snowscape user, Blizzard can at least hit, but it's coming off a significantly lower special attack stat compared to the physical. Like, just looking at it without any investment, you're at 140 special attack versus 190 physical attack. Now, this might be okay for getting you around Intimidate, so maybe you don't necessarily have to run the Clear Amulet. Maybe instead, what you could do is you could run a Covert Cloak just to protect you from Fake Out, maybe something like that. Or I was going to say Assault Vest, but you're running a Naive Nature. Like, you've got less special defense at this point. Like, I don't really think that might work out. So maybe in this case, maybe you run Life Orb instead. And then maybe you can do something like this. But the problem now is you're kind of divvying up your special attack and your physical attack. Like, I don't know. Maybe you run like a lot of speed investment. Like, maybe you run up to that 155 mark so that you can outspeed a max Iron Bundle and Fluttermane with their respective abilities, giving them a speed boost. And maybe you divvy up your special attack and your physical attack at this point. Like, maybe you do like 116, 188. It seems a little bit too far. Like, maybe we'll go up to 210, 156, and then 148. Maybe you can make a case for this instead. I mean, that might not be all. Well, I don't know why I was about to say that might not be all right, but that might be okay. I mean, another thing too is it does have Zekrom's Terravolt ability, so it doesn't have to worry about abilities impeding what it wants to do. So, like, maybe you can land that big Blizzard and get some raw damage. But another problem with the mixed moveset here, outside of lowering one of the defenses, is now you kind of can't really run a status move. Like, on the physical set, like, maybe you just forego your ice coverage and maybe just run a physical option instead, like maybe say Rock Slide. Well, even here, you're still having a little bit of an awkward point because, like, Kyurem-Black would benefit from Dragon Dance, which it does get, since Dragon Dance would raise your speed and your attack as well. So, like, you could raise up your offensive stats right there in your physical attack and your speed, and then maybe you're having an okay time, but it just feels kind of limited because now you're kind of losing out on a stab option. And now you're also taking away one of your move slots for a boosting move. Now, maybe you just don't want to run Protect. Maybe instead you do run that Dragon Dance. Maybe you have Blizzard. And maybe this way, the Dragon Dance is just meant to give you speed while having access to the coverage option of Rock Slide and Fusion Bolt. And then you have that stab Ice. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that might be okay. I really don't know, to be completely honest. Like, Kyurem is definitely one of those Pokemon that I want to try to use. I've used Kyurem White. I've used Reshiram in Reg I. But when it comes to Kyurem-Black and Zekrom, like, both of them feel a little bit harder to use. And I feel like out of the two of them, Kyurem-Black is a little bit better than Zekrom. Like, when you look at Zekrom, it's the same typing as Miraidon. So, like, Zekrom already faces a lot of competition there. But on top of that, it's not only a restricted legendary, but it also shares the same typing with Raging Bolt 2, another prevalent Pokemon in the format. So, at least the Dragon Ice typing kind of gives Kyurem a bit of a better edge, but again, you're kind of losing out on that ice typing, so that ice typing is effectively null and void for the physical side. Now, you do have that special option, and you don't necessarily have to run Blizzard. Like, you do have Ice Beam, so you do have good single target, reliable accuracy, or you have Freeze Dry, but Freeze Dry is much better run on Kyurem White, since Kyurem White has that much higher special attack. So, yeah. I don't know at the end of the day, but just to entertain the notion of running this monstrosity of a set, maybe we take Zekrom out. Maybe what we see here is Ninetales with snow warning to set the snow, and now you do have a reliable blizzard. We can have the Aurora Veil option, maybe Icy Wind, maybe Moonblast, maybe Protect, maybe Terra Ghost as well. And that might not be the worst thing out there. Like, then you're kind of up to whether you want to run a Light Clay or maybe even, like, say, a Covert Cloak just to protect yourself from Fake Out and then use a different Terra. Like, maybe you do something like that. Maybe your other restricted legendary Pokemon could be, like, Zamazenta. Which, honestly, Zamazenta wouldn't be bad either, since you can have the Wide Guard to protect Kyurem. You do have Coaching as an option. Plus, you can't have Zamazenta without Body Press. And, with the prevalence of Shadow Rider, I feel like you could make the case for Crunch instead. So, like, this might not be a terrible idea, and who knows, maybe I might even run something like this, but I'm kind of interested in your thoughts on Kyurem. And just going along with the rest of this, maybe what we have here is Urshifu Rapid. Maybe we have our own Flutter Mane. So maybe something like this. And let's see here. We got 5 Pokemon. Maybe we have either Incineroar or Rillaboom. I kind of like the idea of having the Incineroar for the knockoff and Will-O-Wisp. Knockoff and Will-O-Wisp might be nice. So let's see here. We have our Parting Shot. And I forgot too that I'm on the box option and not the solid just option of 6 for the team. So, like, there's more Pokemon here. So we could maybe do something like this here. Like, maybe have Kyurem, Ninetales, Zama, Urshifu, Flutter, or Incin, or maybe as an alternative to Zama, we could have Miraidon. Like, Miraidon could hit hard on the special attacking option. We could also have Rillaboom as an alternative to Incin. And even, you could even consider maybe Iron Bundle, maybe. I don't know. But another coaching option in general might even be Annihilate. And the reason why I'm saying Annihilate is you can have the Defiant to get around Intimidate, and maybe what you do is you have a Covert Cloak on the Kyurem just to protect the Kyurem itself, but, like, your Ghost typing naturally protects you from Fake Out. Maybe you run Focus Sash Coaching next to Kyurem, but I feel like it's better on Calyrex Ice Rider. Yeah, I feel like Ice Rider does it better. So yeah, maybe you do something like that, or maybe we have Final Gambit and Choice Scarf instead of Focus Sash. Because one other thing I do want to kind of point out too is Annihilate does have base 110 HP, and a Jolly Annihilate hits 156. So, like, this would be faster than opposing Miraidon with that 135. And a lot of restricted legendary Pokemon do tend to have 100 or less HP. Like, not a whole lot of restricteds do necessarily have more than that. Like, so if your opponent has, like, a Calyrex Ice Rider on the field and you get rid of it with Annihilate with Final Gambit, like, maybe then that does create an opening for Kyurem. So I don't know, maybe that might work, but I don't really know. Anyways, just a quick little discussion video here, just kind of wondering what Kyurem-Black can potentially do. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below, and if you have been using it, be sure to let me know as well, because just when I take a look to see what other people are doing, like on Pikalytics, it's got a 0.02%, not even a 2%, a 0.02% usage right here. And just to prove my point about the loaded dice, I think it went too far. Yeah, right there, loaded dice. 88.75% with Life Orb being 6.62. So yeah. Anyways, just some food for thought to leave it there.